And let's look at the S&P Mini. Now first we'll look at this very compressed view going all the way back again to that June 25th profile that we drew over the entire range, and you can see that we had a value area high here around the 1007 area, and down here around the 990 area, and the point of control for the entire span we see around 995. So let's look at that a little more up close. Now we can see how when we were looking at it, we had this congestion, and on the following day of the 7th it popped up, attempted to extend the range, and was immediately rejected. Came back rotating once again on Monday and Tuesday, and as we usually expect, encountered very, very strong support and plenty of demand at the lower value area. And once they pivoted above the point of control for that period going back to the 27th, that period of value, we had the move up again on the 12th, which was yesterday, and then we can see today's trading here at mostly pretty much establishing that value wasn't ready to be given up on, and looks like they're in a position to certainly test that that probe up here is now becoming accepted value based on today's trading anyway. So again, we don't really need to predict whether we think this resistance will hold or not, but from what we're looking at, we know how to deal with the different levels and to respond if indeed there is a breakout to the upside, because we know there's a lot of support here now, so pullbacks into that area, if it does break higher, would certainly be great buying opportunities. So this is how we, looking at these third of a day bars can really set us up going into each day, knowing exactly where our levels are, our targets for support and resistance, and areas that we can clearly recognize if it is probing this lower value area and gets back above the point of control, then you really have to get on board, because the next target is wherever they first the opposite value area, the value area high in this case, and then if it's gonna not be resisted by that value area, then eventually it's going to retest that high and see if it can go higher. These are the repetitive patterns that we see over and over again. Now let's look at it on a shorter time frame a little bit to see opportunities of how to work with these specific levels. Now we're going to look at a number of different chart setups that are approaching the same set of variables in different ways, just to see, going down to a 15-minute time frame first, what we were looking at on the longer time frame. In yesterday's trading, we saw it probing the very bottom area, the value area low, for the past several days, and this is right where that was, in the 990 to 991 area. And in the 15-minute chart, it had gapped down and was going down all morning, and it reached this low at 10:30, and actually a very common time in the S&Ps where you might expect a turn. But I want to bring your attention to this very, very significant and very consistent pattern once again. We briefly mentioned it earlier, but this is the delta breakdown indicator that Investor RT provides, and also for its sister company Market Delta, that on this bar, the low bar of the morning, the volume increased, and the delta, which had been negative and had reached its extreme on the prior bar, actually reversed to positive delta. So more people were lifting the offer on this bar even though it was a lower low. That is the signal. We look for that signal. It's extremely high probability, and when it is also right at the significant area that we've identified going into the day, which is the value area low, that's pretty close to being a mechanical system entry. And we're going to see a lot of these, and this is not to be minimized. You pick your level, you see this pattern, you get the volume. Now, there are some different patterns that can emerge just in the total volume itself, but this is one that people know. Volume was diminishing after this first low. Volume was high and it diminished on the retest, and then volume picked up on the very low bar, which we can identify as new buyers or resting limit orders. Basically, we can see here that there was demand for the supply at that level, and this turned the market up. Now, off the low here, it was about a 4-point rally, but you could either scalp a couple points out of that, or just leave your stop under there and hold. Everybody can have their own different styles and time frames and money management. But on the retest here, on the bigger scale, the retest was lower and lower volume all the way. And then once again, the delta, which was a little bit negative on the bar before the low, was almost at break even as the volume increased overall. And this had the same low, and it was evened up again, buyers and sellers. And after 45 minutes, they couldn't even get one tick lower. And then they're off from there. So a very good opportunity to get in very close to the low that day. Very excellent risk-reward ratio.